Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome to the monthly Thronebreaker EQ All Bosses. So the boss for chapter 1.1 is going to be a shocker, and the nodes here are going to be Rushdown, Concussive Resonance, Surge Protector, Dazed and Confused, and Sixth Sense. Now with Dazed and Confused, if you're going to parry Shocker twice in a given timer, you are going to get Falter on yourself. And there's also Surge Protector, that's the usual. When he throws a special attack, he retains his power and you're going to throw a special attack again. Now Concussive Resonance, whenever you will hit Shocker in his block, you're going to get ability accuracy reduction on you, concussion, and the main node you need to take care about is rushdown. You will start with 3 charges of rushdown, the gray timer that you notice. If I parry him, that is going to reduce, and if it get down to 0, I will be passively stunned. So I just have to take care about that. Well, if I knock down the opponent, I can restore one of the charges. So you just have to stay away from the stun. You can also use a champion that is immune to stun, but few of my suggestions would be champions like that have easy access to unblockable, or that can bypass the auto block. So Angela would be a good one. Serpent you can use. You can also use Gladiator. Another one would be Adam Warlock. He's been really growing on me. Or you can also go ahead and use Hulkling, but with Hulkling you will really have to wait for the unblockable to trigger before you can jump in. Same, you can use Hercules as well. Anybody that can bypass the unblockable, the auto block can work also well here. I did make a mistake bringing Gore here. That's why it's taking me a lot to take him down, but slowly I am able to take him down. Even with all of those auto blocks, I am managing to brute force my way, but it's much better if you bring in a champion that has anti-auto block capabilities, and you should be able to take this fight much easier than I did. Got hit with an SP1 on the face, but that's okay. Just finishing off the fight. Here we go, and Shocker is down. Chapter 1.2 brings in Namor with the nodes unblockable, buff toggle, bubble shield, distract, I am root, and shifting immunity. So you will need a champion that can apply different debuffs. I would suggest bringing a champion that has other debuffs other than your bleed and poison. Because of shifting immunity, they will be dispelled and the fight will be prolonged for nothing. So I'm just using in here Hyperion because of his incinerates. You have other options that you can use. Use champions that can apply multiple different debuffs, and you should be good. I've given you a few options, for example, like Ironheart, and you can also use Cosmic Ghost Rider, Jack-O-Lantern. These are a few options, but there are plenty of different options that you can use to activate that distract. Be careful about Bubble Shield, the unblockable for that. And the hardest part here will be whenever Namor will throw a special attack, you are going to be rooted in your place. So it will be a bit difficult because you cannot control the power. He will get to his tide and get up to 2 bars of power, and that SP2 can really hurt. So you really have to be careful with that and try to evade it during the route. Other than that, pretty straightforward fight, nothing too difficult. There is just the threat of getting hit by a big SP2, and you can die from that. But other than that, simple SP1 and SP2 evades, and you can take down Namor quite easily in the end. There's also the Sig ability of Namor that can return the damage on your damage over time, but that's around it. Shuri is the boss for chapter 2.1 with shock ether. So if you don't attack Shuri for 6 seconds, you are going to get a shock on yourself. You can check that with a gray timer underneath your health bar. There's also physical reflect, so 60% damage of any physical attack that you do on Shuri will be returned to you. Beer necessity, there's Shuri will auto block 60% of your basic attacks, and the way you can put it on cooldown is by knocking Shuri down, or you can bring in a champion that can bypass auto block and you should be good. So just here I threw an SP1 from Odin, and now I don't need to worry about the auto block. I can just use my basic attacks and look at those auto blocks failed. So just bring in those champions. It's also armor up aggression, not a difficult node to worry about. Champions like Odin can work really well here. Your Hercules, your Angela, anybody with anti-auto block, and also cosmic champions will get their natural class advantage, so you can be able to do quite a bit of damage. And I'm going to finish off with a big SP2. There is also stun immunity on Shuri, but that's not really difficult to manage. Pretty comfortable fight in the end. And before we jump on the new champions, the last one is going to be a Killmonger. Unstoppable buff, enhanced bleed, natural armor, fatal fury, and you can't see me. Just remember not to parry twice in a row because of the falter from you can't see me. Other than that, it's a pretty straightforward Killmonger fight with just one twist, that when he goes below 30% health, he is going to get indestructible with Fatal Fury. Other than that, bring your regular counters for Killmonger, and you can just snipe him off. I've just brought in a Cosmic Ghost Rider. All of that armor break is helping me out, and I'm just gonna wait for the indestructible from Fatal Fury. And here's an SP2, and there goes Killmonger. And finally, we have the new champions. Chapter 3.1, Gentle is going to be the boss with Kinetic Reactor, Bloody Fight, Combat Deja Vu, Footloose, Ticking Time Bomb, and Heal Block. Now, that goes without saying, be careful with the Footloose, with the Unstoppable and Evade. And also, you have to take care about Ticking Time Bomb. If you parry a lot, that is going to place a charge on you. And if you get 3 of those, that is going to blow up on you and give you damage. And if you hit the opponent in their block, those ticking time bomb charges are removed. SP1, SP2 are easy to evade, not to worry about it. Now, Gentle weakness is that champions that do not crit, because if you crit against him, his defensive mechanisms come online. So the best way to deal with him is to bring champions that do not crit, and also along with high energy damage works really well. So Guardian, I have a sick 200 rank 3 Guardian. He is the perfect champion against Gentle, and just like that, boom, you can take him out. Just champions that do not crit, that will not activate any defense, and you should be good. And finally, we have Okoye. Now, this is going to be a difficult fight because she can prolong the debuff. So if you get caught in the root, she is going to keep extending that. So do not give her unblockable. How does she get unblockable? Is when you use the same basic attack twice in a row. Just alternate your combos. You will notice I'm just going to go medium, light, medium, and the next one is going to be a heavy attack. I am not going to give her any kind of unblockable, because if she gets that, she is going to start extending that, and that's going to do a lot of damage. She hurts really much. Made a mistake of throwing in SP2 here, and those shocks and bleeds are really stacking up. So bring in champions that have immunity to shocks and bleeds, and you should be good. I've given you quite a few counters that should work, but this fight is very simple to work around. Okoye is dependent on her bleed and shock damage, and the champs that are immune, they will work well. Alternate your combos and you'll be able to take her out.